Thanks for joining me back at the Nerf bench, and today we're going to be taking a look at another old mod I did, which was the second Elite blaster I ever purchased, in the form of the N-Strike Elite Strongarm, the evolution of the Maverick. And this one, of course, is mine, and it was the first blaster I had ever painted. This was before I was going to Dart Wars or anything like that. This was just... when I bought this thing for 15 or 16 bucks, I could not put it down. It was my favorite thing ever. I had a couple of barricades that were also my favorite things ever when I got them, but this quickly replaced that because nothing spat out darts as fast as this thing. Absolutely nothing. I loved it. And I think everybody should, but unfortunately they released the hammer shot, and a lot of people really like that, even though I don't see the appeal, even though I love cowboy action and I love the, single action revolvers. I just felt like this thing worked better. Even though it wasn't like a hammer prime or anything, it used a slide, it still felt better to roll this off my hip and slam fire with it. I just adored it, and I got so good at spamming darts so fast. Oh my gosh, I could talk about this thing for days. It has been through hell, and yet this is still my original hammer Strongarm that I bought and took it to Dart Wars and everything. It's the same exact one I've had all this time. Going over the paint job, it was probably a Krylon Fusion Black, and then this was Testor's Gold Enamel, which I found in a bunch of stuff in my grandparents' garage, and the silver was Testor's Acrylic Silver, which was with that same stuff. A lot of model paints I picked up that were probably 20 or 30 years old, and I still used them, and they still worked after a lot of shaking. And it's been dry brushed to hell and back, probably way too much, but for a first paint job I liked it quite a bit. This was a lot of fun to do as well. This was all freehand, and it kind of worked, but I didn't clear coat it, so the paint is missing in quite a few areas. The paint's even missing off the normal N-Strike paint job here. I didn't paint any of this. I believe I taped it off a little bit with like packing tape or something like that. But this thing was a lot of fun, and you can see even up here where I missed some spray painting right there. First time for everything. But this one is also a little bit special because it has, it's a little stuck because I haven't used this in forever, but it has the drop cylinder mod. So to do this mod, you do have to take apart the entire blaster, but you keep this half of the swivel mechanism for the turret in there, but this other part, not only do you cut off down here a bit, but you leave it in there. So basically to load it, we'll grab a fresh cylinder here, you just push it in there, and you go like that. It's really easy to do once you practice it, and it makes the Strongarm a much, much better blaster than it was originally. So not only do you have a lot of firing power, but you also have a quick reloading mechanism. The hammer shot can kind of do the same thing, but I don't think anybody's ever really owned enough hammer shots. They rarely go on sale. I find these things at thrift stores all the time, but enough hammer shots to constitute doing this mod. I have a dozen of these things, literally, and I have maybe 4 hammer shots, 5. I've had a total of 6 at the most I've ever had hammer shots in Sweet Rebels, but the hammer shot, you have to use neodymium magnets, and screw that when you can just do this mod. And I love this thing a lot. Hey, it was primed. And now it's empty. I love the Strongarm. Many people say that when you modify it, they have a tendency to break, and that might very well be the case. I've never bought one of the Orange ModWorks kits for this. The only experience I have is Bobo telling me his experience, and he said he used it pretty extensively and never had it break, so I don't know where people went off saying these things sucked. I fell in love with Griffin Mod's video of their 100-foot Strongarm, and it will forever be something I need to get eventually, but I just don't want to pay full price for, that's for sure. We all gotta start somewhere, and this is where I started. I don't even know what glue I used for this thing. It looks terrible. It's like it's not quite hot glue. Or maybe it is? I can't, no, that's not hot glue. There's hot glue on there, but there's something else underneath that. Oh my gosh, a complete enigma. But still a really cool blaster. If for some reason you haven't used a Strongarm lately, I highly recommend you do it because it is a super, super great blaster. Let me know what you think about this down in the comment boxes below, and of course, if you want to see more videos like this, I have quite a few more blasters I could show off that are just kind of random. There's no real anything other than picking this thing up and talking about it, but let me know what you think down in the comment boxes, and if you like this kind of thing, go ahead and click that like button, and if you don't like it, you can hit the dislike button, and of course, there's a subscribe button there if you want to see some more stuff I've done. This is just a quick little overview video. I love the Strongarm. I absolutely adore it, and I think it's probably the best first Nerf blaster you could possibly have. Just as long as you realize that you can't leave darts loaded in this thing. Have a good one!